3 days after my son's funeral, my daughter-in-law threw my pillow out the front door, right in front of 30 people still mourning at our house. "Get out, Carter!" she screamed. "This is my house now. You're done freeloading." I stood there, 68 years old, holding that blue cotton pillow soaked with my own tears. 30 faces stared, no one spoke. I'd sold my $680,000 home to save my son from cancer. I'd given her $340,000. I'd slept on that couch for 2 years, changing his bandages at 3 a.m. while she locked her bedroom door. And this public humiliation was my thank you. I bent down, picked up the pillow, and walked out. Didn't say a word. But in my suit pocket, I had a notarized document she didn't know existed, and it was about to change everything. But before I tell you what happened next, let me know. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe, because what comes next will shock you. My name is Carter Howard. I'm 68 years old. For 40 years, I built houses. Not just houses, homes, brick by brick, foundation to roofing. I gave families a place to call theirs. Over 200 homes across Virginia. My hands are still rough from concrete. My back still aches from carrying beams. I built homes for strangers who trusted me with their life savings, and I never let them down. Ironically, I built all those homes, but I couldn't save my own. I met Sarah in 1978. She was a nurse at Arlington General, blue eyes that made you forget your own name. We married in 1979, simple ceremony, just us and 20 friends. Evan was born in 1984, our only child. He had his mother's eyes. Sarah died in 2022, stroke. She was only 65. I held her hand at the hospital. She couldn't speak, but she squeezed my hand 3 times, our code for I love you. Then she looked at me, and I knew what she wanted. "I'll take care of Evan," I whispered, "no matter what." She squeezed once more, then she was gone. I kept that promise for 2 years. Through everything, I didn't know that promise would cost me my home, my savings, and nearly my dignity. But here's what I learned. Promises to the dead are heavier than promises to the living, because the dead can't release you. You have to carry them until you're done. But I wasn't done yet. Evan met Melissa in 2019. She was 38, a nurse at St. Mary's Hospital. Pretty, confident, always smiling. Evan fell hard. Proposed after 8 months. I wanted to be happy for him. I tried. But something felt off. The first time I met Melissa, she asked about money. Not, "How are you, Mr. Howard?" Not, "Tell me about yourself." "So," she said, sipping her wine, "you still own that construction company?" I didn't own a company. I'd been a contractor, retired. "No," I said. "I sold my stake 10 years ago." Her smile tightened just for a second. Then it was back. Second red flag, the bridal shower. Melissa didn't invite me. I found out from Evan. "Dad, it's a girl thing," he said. "Don't take it personally." I didn't, but I noticed. Third red flag, the wedding. Beautiful ceremony. Melissa gave a speech thanking everyone. She mentioned her parents, her bridesmaids, her college roommate. She thanked me for helping a little with the down payment. A little. I'd given them $85,000. Evan squeezed my shoulder. "Dad, she's just nervous. Give her time." So I did. I stayed quiet. I smiled. I didn't want to ruin his happiness. Looking back, that was my mistake. Not speaking up when I should have. Because 2 years later, silence became my enemy. And then my weapon. But first, Evan got sick. March 2023. Evan called me at 2 a.m. "Dad," his voice shook, "I need you." I drove to their house in 20 minutes. Evan sat at the kitchen table, face pale. "Pancreatic cancer," he said. "Stage 4. The room tilted. I grabbed the counter. "What did the doctor say?" 6 to 12 months, maybe longer with treatment. He looked at his hands. "Chemo and radiation. Insurance covers 60%. Out of pocket is $72,000. Melissa sat across from him, crying into her hands. "We don't have that kind of money," she said. I didn't hesitate. I'll handle it. Evan looked up. Dad, you can't. I'll handle it. The next week I sold my house, the house I'd bought in 1985, the house Sarah and I raised Evan in, the house where she took her last breath, $680,000. After taxes, I walked away with $638,000. I transferred $72,000 to Evan and Melissa's account. First payment to the hospital, then I packed my things. One suitcase, one box of photos, one pillow. Dad, you're staying with us, Evan said. The couch pulls out. It's not much, but it's perfect, I said. It wasn't. The couch was old. The springs dug into my back, but it was close to Evan. And that's all that mattered. I didn't know I'd sleep on that couch for 2 years, or that Melissa would throw that pillow at me like garbage. I should have known better. April 2023. My lawyer, Richard Brennan, called me into his office. Carter, he said, sliding a folder across his desk, we need to talk about the money you're giving Evan. What about it? You gave him $290,000 for the house down payment in 2020. You just gave him $72,000 for medical bills. You're planning to give more, right? Yes. That's a problem. I frowned. How? If you give it as a gift, you lose all rights to it. If Evan dies, God forbid, everything goes to Melissa. You get nothing. She's his wife. I know, but what if she doesn't treat you right? What if you need that money back? I shook my head. Evan would never... I'm not talking about Evan. I'm talking about protection. For you. Brennan pulled out a document. This is a promissory note. It says Evan borrowed $290,000 from you. He'll pay you back. Slowly. If he can't... If something happens, the debt goes against his estate before any inheritance. I stared at the paper. This feels like I don't trust him. It's not about trust. It's about the law. Brennan leaned forward. Carter, you're a builder. You know the foundation protects the house. This is your foundation. I sat there for 5 minutes, silent. Then I signed. Evan signed too. He understood. Dad, he said when I showed him, I want you protected. If anything happens to me, you shouldn't lose everything. Melissa wasn't there. Evan didn't tell her. He said she'd worry. The promissory note went into a safe deposit box. I forgot about it, until the day Melissa threw my pillow. Then I remembered, and that piece of paper became the most important thing I owned. But there was another layer, one I didn't even know I'd built. June 2023. The hospital sent another bill, $118,000. Insurance denied part of the claim. Experimental treatment, they said. I'll cover it, I told Evan. Dad, you can't keep doing this. Watch me. I went to First National Bank, opened a new account. The banker, a young woman named Jennifer, smiled. What type of account? Joint, with my son. Okay. And for survivorship, do you want joint tenancy with right of survivorship or tenants in common? I blinked. What's the difference? With right of survivorship, if one person dies, the other automatically gets everything. With tenants in common, the deceased person's share goes into their estate. I thought about it. If I died first, Evan would need the money for Melissa and medical bills. Right of survivorship, I said. Jennifer typed. Perfect. Sign here. I signed. Carter Howard and Evan Howard. Joint account. Right of survivorship. I transferred $340,000 into that account. Almost everything I had left from selling the house. Evan could withdraw whenever he needed. For medical bills. For treatment. For anything. He was careful. Kept every receipt. Used it only for the hospital. Melissa thought it was their account. Evan and Melissa's joint money. She was wrong. My name was on it. Not hers. But she didn't know that. When Evan died, she assumed she'd inherit it. That's how it works, right? Wife gets husband's money. Except the law says if there's a joint account with right of survivorship, the surviving account holder gets it all. Not the spouse. Not the estate. The surviving account holder. Me. I didn't plan it that way. I just wanted Evan to have money if I died first. But life, or death, had other plans. And while I was signing papers, Melissa was making plans too. July 2023 to January 2025. 18 months. I became Evan's full-time caregiver. Melissa quit her nursing job, said she needed to focus on Evan, but I was the one changing his bandages, giving him medication, holding the bowl when he vomited, cleaning him when he couldn't make it to the bathroom. Melissa was somewhere else. I kept a journal, handwritten, 120 pages. Day 14, Evan threw up 4 times. I cleaned it up. Melissa said she had a headache, went to her room. Day 28, Evan asked for water at 2 a.m. I got up. Melissa's door was locked. Day 56, Evan cried today, said he's sorry I have to do this. I told him this is what fathers do. I slept 3, maybe 4 hours a night, lost 15 pounds. My hair went completely gray. Evan saw it. One night he grabbed my hand. Dad, you're killing yourself for me. No, I said, I'm living for you. He wrote me a letter on notebook paper, his handwriting shaky. Dad, you're my hero when I'm gone. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I folded that letter, put it in my wallet, carried it every day. Meanwhile, Melissa filed a claim with Medicare, $78,000 for in-home skilled nursing care. She signed her name, not mine. But I was the one doing the care. Melissa went shopping, went to the spa, went wherever. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to stress Evan, but I kept my journal. I kept the receipts. I kept the truth. Because deep down, I knew someday I'd need proof. And then, 5 weeks before Evan died, I heard something that changed everything. October 2024. Evan's friends came to visit. They sat in the living room, asked Melissa how she was managing. It's hard, she said, hand on her chest. We hired a part-time nurse, very expensive. I stood in the kitchen, 10 feet away, washing dishes, hired a nurse. Evan's friend Mark glanced at me. Wait, isn't Carter here? Melissa waved her hand. Oh, he stops by sometimes. Stops by. I live there. Mark looked confused but didn't push. Second time, Thanksgiving. Melissa posted on Facebook. I saw it on Nancy's phone. Thankful for my strength during this hard time. Doing this alone teaches you who you are. Alone. Evan saw the post. Mel, Dad's been here every day. It's just Facebook, honey. Don't read into it. But I read into it. I wasn't invisible. I was there. Every single day. Third time, Christmas. A neighbor stopped by with a casserole. Sweet woman. Mrs. Patterson. Melissa, you're so strong. Caring for Evan all by yourself. Melissa smiled. Thank you. It's hard, but I manage. Mrs. Patterson turned to me. Carter, you visiting for the holidays? I opened my mouth. Melissa cut in. He stays over sometimes. Helps a little. Helps a little. I didn't correct her. Didn't fight. Evan was watching. He looked tired. Ashamed. Dad, he whispered later. I'm sorry. Don't be, I said. But something in me closed that day. A door. Quiet. Final. I didn't know it yet. But that closed door would become a wall. And when Melissa threw my pillow, that wall became a fortress. Then she started locking me out. Literally. December 2024. Melissa started locking her bedroom door at night. I need privacy, she said. Evan slept in the living room with me now. Hospital bed. Machines beeping. One night Evan cried out. Sharp, sudden pain. I jumped up. Melissa! No answer. I ran to her door. Knocked hard. Melissa! Evan needs you! Locked. Silent. I knocked again. Nothing. Evan moaned. I ran back, grabbed my phone, called 911. The paramedics came, checked Evan, gave him morphine. He calmed down. Morning came. Melissa walked downstairs, fresh makeup, hair done. What happened? Evan had a pain episode. I called 911. Why didn't you wake me? I tried. Your door was locked. She blinked. I had earplugs in. You should have knocked harder. Evan was too weak to argue. But I noticed. I started noticing everything. Like how Melissa's phone buzzed at 11 p.m. and she'd smile, typing fast, or how she'd go downstairs at midnight. I heard her, talking low, laughing. I installed a small camera in the living room. For Evan, I told myself, to monitor him when I showered, but the camera caught more. One night, Melissa came downstairs, sat on the couch. Video call. "He's asleep," she whispered to someone. "We can talk now." A man's voice. "I miss you, baby." "I miss you too." I didn't watch more. I turned it off. My hands shook. I didn't tell Evan. I couldn't. He was dying. He didn't need that pain. But I saved the footage, backed it up, locked it away, because I knew. When Melissa threw me away, I'd need every piece of evidence I had. And then I found the messages. January 2025. Evan was fading. The doctor said weeks, maybe days. Melissa went out every night. "Grocery shopping," she said. 2-3 hours each time. One evening, she left her phone on the kitchen table, went upstairs. The screen lit up. A message. "Miss you, baby. Can't wait till this is over. Then we're free." I didn't touch the phone, but I saw enough. I pulled out my phone, took a photo of her screen. Evan called from the living room. "Dad, where's Mel?" "Grocery store. She's been going a lot lately." I sat beside him. Maybe she just needs space. Evan looked at me. His eyes knew. Deep down, he knew. "Dad," he said slowly, "if something happens to me, don't let her treat you badly. Promise me." "Son, don't talk like—" "Promise." I swallowed. "I promise." He nodded, closed his eyes. 2 days later, Evan slipped into a coma. Melissa sat with him for 10 minutes, then went downstairs. I heard her on the phone. "Yeah, doctor said any day now." Pause. "I know, I'm exhausted. I just want this to be over." I stood at the top of the stairs, listening. She didn't know I was there. She never did. I went back to Evan, held his hand. "I've got you," I whispered, "and I've got the proof." 6 weeks later, Melissa would scream at me in front of 30 people, would throw my pillow like trash, and 6 weeks after that, she'd lose everything. Because betrayal leaves evidence. And I was a builder. I knew how to gather materials. Then came the worst day of my life. February 15th, 2025, 3:20 p.m. Evan woke up. First time in 2 days, Melissa was out. "Getting food," she'd said. I sat beside him. His hand was cold, thin. "Dad, I'm here." He tried to speak. Couldn't. Too weak. I grabbed his phone. "You want to type?" He nodded. I gave it to him. His fingers shook. Each letter took 5 seconds. I watched the screen. "Dad, I'm sorry I failed you." Tears blurred my vision. "The money was supposed to be ours." He coughed, kept typing. "Don't let her take it. Fight back. I love you." He hit send. The message went to my phone. I felt it buzz in my pocket. I grabbed his hand. "You didn't fail me. I love you, son." He smiled, barely, then closed his eyes. 5:40 p.m. Evan stopped breathing. The machines flatlined. I pressed the call button. Nurses rushed in, but I knew he was gone. Melissa came home at 6 p.m., ran into the room, screamed, collapsed. I stood in the corner, numb. A nurse touched my shoulder. "I'm so sorry." I nodded, couldn't speak. That night I read Evan's text, over and over. Fight back. Permission. That's what it was. Permission to stop being silent. Permission to defend myself. I screenshotted the message, backed it up, printed it. 3 days later, Melissa would give me the final push I needed. But Evan had already given me the green light. And when you're a builder, you don't start without a blueprint. Evan's text was mine. The funeral was February 18th. That's when everything exploded. Riverside Memorial Chapel, February 18th, 2025. 80 people came. Friends, co-workers, neighbors. Melissa wore black, cried through the entire service, clutched the casket. "My everything is gone," she sobbed. People hugged her. "You're so strong. He loved you so much." I stood in the back, silent. The pastor mentioned Melissa 4 times. Me, 0. After the service, 30 people came back to the house. Melissa played hostess, smiling through tears. "Thank you all for coming. Evan would want us to celebrate his life." I sat in the corner, holding a glass of water, staring at Evan's photo on the mantel. No one talked to me. A few nodded. Most didn't notice me at all. I was invisible. Again. 7 o'clock p.m. Guests started leaving. By 7:30, about 25 people remained. Melissa stood up, tapped her wine glass. Everyone went quiet. "Before you all go," she said, voice shaking, "I need to say something." People turned. I looked up. Melissa's eyes found mine. And I knew. Somehow, I knew. My heart started pounding. Hands went cold. She took a breath. This was it. The moment everything changed. I gripped my water glass. The room blurred. Melissa opened her mouth. And the explosion began. "Carter," Melissa said, voice loud, clear, "you've been living here for 2 years." I nodded, didn't speak. "Evan's gone now." Her voice cracked. "This is my house. My name is on the deed." Murmurs, confused faces. "I need you to pack your things and leave. I can't have you here anymore. This is my space, my fresh start." Silence, heavy, suffocating. I stood. "Melissa, can we talk privately?" "No," she cut me off. "I'm done being quiet. You sold your house, that's your choice, but you're not my responsibility." My face burned. 30 eyes on me. Nancy stood. "Melissa, this is inappropriate." "This is my house," Melissa's voice rose. "I decide what's appropriate." Then she walked to the couch, grabbed the pillow. My pillow. Blue cotton. Stained with my tears from last night. She held it up. "Start with this," she said, and threw it. The pillow flew through the air. Slow motion. Tumbling. It hit the front steps. Landed beside the trash can. 30 people stared. Mouths open. No one moved. I felt my throat close. My chest tighten. Heat rushed to my face. But I didn't speak. I walked to the door. Picked up the pillow. It was damp. Cold. Heavy with shame. Nancy ran over. "Carter, don't—" "I need to go," I said quietly. I walked out. Didn't look back. Got in my car. Sat there. My phone buzzed. Text from Richard Brennan, my lawyer. "Saw your message earlier. I'm ready when you are." I stared at the text. Then at the pillow in my passenger seat. And I smiled. Not from joy, from clarity. She'd just made the biggest mistake of her life. I drove to a motel, and I started planning. I didn't go back inside. Nancy followed me to the car. "Carter, you can't actually leave. I need space." "Where will you go?" "I'll figure it out." "She can't do this. It's illegal." I looked at Nancy, put my hand on hers. Let her think she won. Nancy frowned. "What do you mean?" "Just trust me." I drove to Motel 6, $62 a night. Small room, smelled like old carpet and bleach. I sat on the bed, opened my duffel bag. Inside, 1. Promissory note, $290,000. Notarized. 2. Joint account statement, $286,000 balance. 3. Screenshots of Melissa's affair, 17 messages. 4. My caregiving journal, 120 pages. 5. Camera footage, 80 hours. Melissa absent. 6. Evan's last text. Fight back. I laid them on the bed. 6 items, side by side. Under the fluorescent light, they looked almost holy. I picked up my phone, called Brennan. "Richard, I'm ready." "What changed?" "She threw my pillow out the door, in front of 30 people. I have nothing left to lose." Brennan paused. "I'll file tomorrow morning. She won't know what hit her." "Good." I hung up, looked at the evidence. Evan's voice in my head. "Fight back, Dad." "I will, son, I promise." That night, I slept 10 hours straight. First time in 2 years. No beeping machines. No Melissa's voice. No Evan calling for help. Just silence. And in that silence, I heard something I hadn't heard in years. Myself. My own voice. Steady, calm, ready. Tomorrow the war began. But tonight, I rested. I woke at 6 a.m. Sunlight through thin curtains. Looked around. Motel room. 1 bag of clothes. 1 box of documents. This was everything I had left. I opened my wallet. 304 ruble cash. ATM card. A photo of Sarah and Evan. I touched Evan's face in the photo. Then broke down. 20 minutes. I cried. Couldn't stop. For Sarah, for Evan, for myself. Then I washed my face, looked in the mirror, red eyes, gray hair, thin, tired, but still standing. I said to my reflection, Evan said fight back, so fight. I opened my laptop, old, 10 years, but it worked. Pulled up the promissory note PDF, read it carefully. Upon death of borrower, Evan Howard, outstanding principal, $290,000, becomes debt against estate, payable before any distribution to heirs. Clear, legal, notarized. Then I opened the joint account agreement. Right of survivorship. Upon death of one account holder, surviving holder inherits full balance. Evan died. I'm the surviving holder. The money was mine, legally. Melissa thought she'd inherit Evan's account. But it wasn't Evan's account. It was ours. And when one of us died, the other got it all. I Googled estate creditor claim Virginia. Read for 2 hours. I wasn't a lawyer, but I was a builder. And I knew the foundation matters most. My foundation? These documents. 9 a.m. I called Brennan. He answered immediately. Carter, I already drafted the petition. Just need your signature. Time to build my case. 10 a.m. Brennan's office. He slid 3 folders across the desk. Carter, here's the plan. 3 steps. I leaned forward. Step 1. Creditor claim. You file a petition with probate court. You're owed $290,000 from the promissory note. Virginia law says creditors get paid before beneficiaries. Evan's estate has to pay you first, before Melissa gets anything. But Evan doesn't have $290,000. Exactly. So the estate sells assets. The house. Melissa loses the house if she can't pay you back. Yes. I sat back, heavy feeling in my chest. Step 2. Joint account. You withdraw the $286,000. You're the surviving account holder. It's legal. The bank will confirm. She'll sue. She can try, but the paperwork is clear. Step 3. Brennan hesitated. The Medicare fraud. You have proof Melissa claimed $78,000 for caregiving, but you did the work. That's fraud. You report it to the Office of Inspector General. They investigate. If they confirm, she pays it back. Plus penalties. Maybe jail time. I looked at the table. Do I have to do step 3? It feels cruel. Brennan met my eyes. Do you want justice, or do you want to be nice? I thought about the pillow. Flying through the air, landing by the trash. 30 people watching. Justice, I said. Then sign. I signed all 3 petitions. Didn't hesitate. Evan's voice. Fight back. This was how I fought. The machine started moving. 11:30 a.m. Brennan filed the documents. Fairfax County Circuit Court. 3 petitions. 1. Estate creditor. Claim $290,000. 2. Account ownership verification. 3. Medicare fraud report. Court will notify Melissa in 5 to 7 days, Brennan said. How will she react? Angry, confused. She'll hire a lawyer. I went back to the motel. Waited. Melissa called. 47 times over 3 days. I didn't answer. Voicemail number 1. Feb 20 books. Carter, where are you? We need to talk about Evan's things. Voicemail chapter 221. Carter, this is ridiculous. Call me back. Voicemail to 23. Feb 22. Fine, ignore me, but you left stuff here. I'm throwing it out. I didn't respond. February 24th. Brennan called. She got the papers. Her lawyer just contacted me. What did he say? That you have no claim. That Evan left everything to her. I told him, show me the will. Is there a will? No. Evan died intestate. No will. So Virginia intestate succession law applies. Normally the wife gets everything except creditors get paid first. And your creditor, number 1. I felt a strange calm. Her lawyer's expensive, Brennan added. $400 an hour. She's using money from somewhere. I knew where. The joint account. The $286,000. My money. She was spending my money to fight me. Not for long. February 25th. I went to the bank. Time to take back what was mine. This was the first strike. First National Bank. 10 a.m. I walked to the teller. Young guy. Name tag. Brandon. I need to close account number 455288301923. Brandon typed, looked at the screen. Mr. Howard, this is a joint account with Evan Howard. Deceased? Yes, I'm the surviving account holder. I want to withdraw everything. Current balance is $286,450. Cashier's check or wire? Cashier's check. One moment. He left. Came back with a manager, middle-aged woman, glasses. Mr. Howard, I need to verify. This account has right of survivorship. You're legally entitled to withdraw. But does the family know? That's not the bank's concern. She blinked and then nodded. You're right. Sign here. I signed. 15 minutes later, I held a blue check. $286,450. I stared at the numbers. Didn't feel rich. Felt empty. I drove back to the motel, put the check in a safe deposit box at a different bank. That evening, Melissa discovered the account was empty. She called the bank. They told her, Mr. Carter Howard closed the account. He's the surviving owner. She called me 15 times. Voicemail number 47. You stole my money. I'm calling the police. I listened to the voicemail and smiled. Not joy, just clarity. Not your money, Melissa. My name was on the account. She did call the police. They came, checked the paperwork, told her, Ma'am, this is a civil matter. He had legal right. She screamed at them. They left. I sat in my motel room, holding the receipt for the safe deposit box. Evan's text on my phone screen. Fight back. I am, son. I am. 2 days later, Melissa got more bad news. March 5th, 2025. Fairfax County Circuit Court. Judge Patricia O'Connor presiding. Melissa sat with her lawyer, David Keller, expensive suit. I sat with Brennan. Keller stood. Your Honor, Mr. Howard's claim is absurd. He gave money to his son. This promissory note is fabricated after the fact. Brennan stood. Objection. The note is notarized, signed by both parties in 2023. We have the original. Judge O'Connor held out her hand. Let me see it. Brennan handed her the note. She read. 5 minutes. Silent. This appears legitimate. Mr. Keller, do you have evidence this is fabricated? No, Your Honor, but common sense. A father doesn't loan his dying son money. Common sense isn't a legal argument. The note is valid. Mr. Howard is a creditor. Keller shifted. But the estate has no liquid assets, Brennan. The estate has a house, 123 Maple Street, valued at $520,000. Mortgage, $182,000. Equity, $338,000. More than enough to satisfy Mr. Howard's claim. Judge. Mr. Keller, does your client dispute the house value? Melissa whispered to Keller. He shook his head. No, Your Honor. Judge O'Connor picked up her gavel. The estate will liquidate assets to satisfy creditor claims. I'm ordering the house sold. Proceeds. First to mortgage, second to Mr. Howard's claim, remainder to Mrs. Howard. Melissa stood. That's my home. Ma'am, sit down. The gavel struck 3 times. Melissa ran out, didn't look at me. Keller followed, briefcase swinging. I sat still. Didn't feel victorious, just tired. Brennan touched my shoulder. You okay? No, but I will be. The house would sell, and Melissa would get almost nothing. March 10th. Medicare Office of Inspector General. Investigator Linda Foster called me in. Mr. Howard, we received your report. Can you come to our office? I brought everything. The journal, the camera footage, receipts. Foster was in her 50s. Sharp eyes. No nonsense. Mrs. Melissa Howard claimed $78,000 for in-home skilled nursing care, July 2023 to January 2025. She signed an affidavit saying she provided the care. Is that true? No, I cared for my son, 24 hours a day. She didn't. Evidence? I opened my bag. Journal, 120 pages, daily log, who did what. Foster flipped through it, nodded. Camera footage, 80 hours, shows Melissa was gone most days, 18 to 22 hours. Foster watched a clip, Melissa leaving, not coming back for hours. Medication receipts, I signed for them, not Melissa. Foster examined them. And a letter from Dr. Richard Lane, Evan's oncologist. Confirms I was the primary caregiver. Foster read the letter, set it down. Mr. Howard, this is clear fraud. What happens now? We prosecute. She has to repay $78,000, plus penalties, up to 3 times the amount. So potentially $234,000 total, plus possible jail time, 5 years. My stomach dropped. Jail? If we pursue criminal charges? Yes. I sat back. I don't want her in jail. I just want justice. Foster looked at me. The law decides, not you or me. I nodded. Felt heavy. She stood, shook my hand. Thank you for reporting this. We see fraud like this often. You did the right thing. I left. Didn't feel righteous. Felt sad. But the machine kept moving. March 20th, court-ordered sale, 123 Maple Street. Realtor listed it for $520,000. No offers. April 10th. Price dropped to $495,000. One offer, $480,000. Brennan called. Carter, do you want to buy it? You could bid. No, too many memories. Understood. April 25th. House sold. $480,000. Distribution. $182,000 to the bank. Mortgage. $290,000 to me. Creditor claim. $8,000 closing costs. $0 to Melissa. She had to move out by May 15th. May 10th. I drove past the house. U-Haul in the driveway. Melissa loading boxes. A man helped her. Tall, mid-30s. Had to be Brad, the boyfriend. Melissa looked up. Saw my car. She screamed something. I couldn't hear. I turned up the radio. Kept driving. Didn't feel victorious. Didn't feel happy. Just free. That house held Evan's last breaths. Sarah's memory. My sacrifices. And Melissa's betrayal. Let someone else have it. Let them make new memories. I was done looking back. That night I sat in my motel room. Looked at the check. $290,000 from the house sale. Plus $206,050 from the account. Total. $576,450. More than I started with before selling my own house. But it didn't feel like winning. Money doesn't bring back the dead. Doesn't erase humiliation. It just balances the scales. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. But Melissa wasn't done. She called me. One last time. May 12th. Melissa called. First time in 2 months. I answered. Carter, please. Silence. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have thrown your pillow. I was grieving. I wasn't thinking. I said nothing. I have nowhere to go. Brad left me. I have no money. Medicare is suing me. Please, can we settle? Settle? I'll pay you back. Slowly. Just drop the fraud case. I can't drop it. It's a federal investigation. You reported me because you committed fraud. $78,000. Taxpayer money. I needed that money. Evan was sick. Evan was sick. I took care of him. You went on dates. Silence. You knew? I know everything. The texts, the camera footage, everything. 10 seconds of silence. Then, you're a cruel old man. I took a breath. No, I'm a father who lost his son, and you threw my pillow out the door in front of 30 people. Goodbye, Melissa. I hung up. My hand shook. Nancy called an hour later. Melissa emailed me, said you're destroying her life. What did you say? I said, you destroyed your own life. I smiled. Sad smile. Thanks, Nancy. You okay? I will be. 6 months later, I heard Melissa filed bankruptcy, moved to Ohio, living with her mother, working as a waitress at Denny's, $9 an hour, paying Medicare $500 a month for 30 years. She'd be 68 when she finished. My age now. I didn't feel joy, but I didn't feel sorry either. She made her choices. Now she lived with them, and I made mine. May 20th, I rented an apartment, 1 bedroom, $1,100 a month, 847 Brookside Avenue, Arlington, Virginia. View of a parking lot, but quiet. I moved in with 12 boxes, everything I owned. Box number 1, clothes. Box number 2, photos, Sarah, Evan. Box number 3, old tools, hammer, measuring tape, pencil. Box number 4, legal documents, promissory note, court orders, the check. Box number 5, my journal, caregiving notes. Box number 6, the pillow, blue cotton, unwashed. I set the pillow on my bed, sat down, looked at it, stained, faded, smelled like sweat and medicine. I touched it and cried, "Evan, did you see? I did it. I fought back." No answer, just wind outside. I slept that night. No dreams. Next morning, I walked around the neighborhood. Coffee shop, library, park. An old woman smiled at me. "You new here?" "Yes, ma'am." "Welcome. I'm Margaret Collins. Everyone calls me Maggie." "Carter Howard." "This is a good neighborhood, Carter. Quiet. You'll like it." I hope so. I went home, bought a small plant, put it by the window. First time in 3 years, I thought about the future, not the past. What would I do now? I had $576,000 in the bank, but I didn't need much. A small apartment, simple food, walks in the park. I'd spent 40 years building houses, 2 years caring for Evan, 6 months fighting for justice. Now, maybe I'd just rest. But then I remembered something, Evan's text. The money was supposed to be ours. Our money, not mine. Ours. Evan wanted me to use it for something good. And suddenly, I knew exactly what to do. I called Brennan. I didn't give anyone my new address, except Brennan and Nancy. Melissa called 63 times between February and May. I blocked her number. She emailed 47 times. I marked them as spam. Evan's old friends called. "Carter, Melissa says you sued her. What happened?" "That's private." "But she said you took all the money." "I took what was legally mine. Goodbye." I hung up, blocked the number. Nancy asked, "Carter, do you want to talk? You seem lonely." "I'm okay, just need time." "Melissa's telling everyone you're cruel. You destroyed her. Let her talk. People who know the truth don't need my explanation. People who don't aren't worth explaining to." Nancy went quiet. Then, "You're stronger than I thought." "No, just tired. Tired of drama." June, I deleted Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, went offline, didn't want to be found. I read books, walked, cooked simple meals, met Maggie Collins every morning. We drank coffee, talked about weather, simple, peaceful. No phone calls about Melissa, no court dates, no lawyers, just silence. And for the first time in years, silence felt good. Not empty, full of space. Space to breathe, space to think, space to be myself. One evening, I sat by the window, watched the sunset, thought about Evan, about Sarah, about the pillow. I'd been thrown away, publicly humiliated, but I'd stood back up. I'd fought, legally, quietly, completely. And now I had peace. Not happiness, not yet, maybe never, but peace. And that was enough, almost. Because $576,450 still sat in my account. Untouched, waiting. And I finally knew what Evan wanted me to do with it. Transform pain into purpose. June 15th. Brennan called. "Thought you should know. Melissa's lawyer dropped her." "Why?" "Can't pay. He billed $18,000. She paid $3. Still owes $15. "Where'd she get $3,000? "No idea, but her boyfriend, Brad, left her last month." "How do you know?" "Nancy told me. Melissa called Nancy, begging for money." "Did Nancy give her any?" "No, Nancy said, 'You threw my brother's pillow out the door. Figure it out yourself.'" I smiled. Small smile. First in months. "Also," Brennan continued, "Medicare sent a demand letter. $78,000 repayment plus $156,000 penalty. Total $234,000. Due in 90 days or criminal prosecution. Does she have it?" "No, she filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7. "What does that mean?" "Means she's broke. No house, no car, no savings, starting from zero." I sat down, felt strange, not happy, not sad, just aware. You okay, Carter? I don't want her to starve, but I won't save her. You don't have to. She made her choices. That night, Nancy called. Carter, Melissa called me, crying, said you destroyed her life. What did you tell her? I said you destroyed your own life. I closed my eyes. Thank you. You doing okay? Yeah, I think I am. July. I heard Melissa moved to Ohio, living with her mother, waitressing $9 an hour plus tips, paying Medicare $500 a month for 30 years. I didn't celebrate, but I didn't cry for her either. Justice isn't always pretty, but it's necessary. Meanwhile, Brad got his karma too, April 20th. Flashback. Brad learned Melissa lost the house. Babe, where are we gonna live? Melissa. We'll figure it out. I have the money from the account. What money? I thought Carter took it. He did, but I'll sue. Get it back. How long will that take? A year, maybe 2. Brad went quiet. April 25th. He said, I think we need a break. What? Why? This is too much. The lawsuits, the fraud thing. I can't handle it. But you said you loved me. I do, but I can't do this. April 28th. Brad packed, left. Melissa called him 30 times. He blocked her. She posted on Facebook, men are trash. They use you when you have money, leave when you don't. Nancy screenshotted it, sent it to me. I read it. Didn't comment. Nancy texted, ironic, right? She cheated on Evan while he was dying. Now Brad left her because she's broke. I replied, karma isn't revenge. It's a mirror. Nancy, you're wiser than I gave you credit for. Me, I'm just old. And old people learn. You attract what you are. Melissa attracted a man who wanted money. When the money left, so did he. Nancy, do you think she's learned anything? I thought about it. Maybe or maybe not. That's not my problem anymore. August. Melissa emailed me. Last time. Subject. I'm sorry, please read. I stared at the subject line. 5 minutes, then deleted it. Unread. Some apologies come too late. And some bridges, once burned, stay ash. But the law wasn't done with her yet. August 10th. Medicare OIG concluded the investigation, finding Melissa Howard guilty of Medicare fraud. Evidence. My journal. Camera footage. Dr. Lane's testimony. Penalty. Repay $78,000. Civil penalty, $156,000, double the fraud amount. Total, $234,000. Due, 90 days. If unpaid, criminal prosecution, up to 5 years prison. Melissa didn't have the money. She negotiated a payment plan, $500 per month, for 30 years. She'd be 68 when she finished paying. My age now. Investigator Foster called me. Mr. Howard, case closed, thank you. Will she go to jail? No, she accepted the payment plan. But if she misses one payment, we prosecute. I understand. You did the right thing. This money was for sick patients. She stole it. I know, but I don't feel good about it. Justice isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to be right. I hung up. Sat in silence for 20 minutes. Thought about Evan. Son, did I do the right thing? No answer. Just my own heartbeat. I looked at the promissory note on my desk. The court orders. The evidence. All of it legal. All of it justified. But heavy. So heavy. I thought about Melissa. 68 years old. Still paying. 30 years from now. Part of me felt pity. Small part. The rest of me remembered. She threw my pillow in front of 30 people while I was grieving my son. Some lessons can only be taught through consequences, and consequences, sometimes, last a lifetime. The community had opinions, too. September. Nancy told me about the Whisper Network. People are talking about Melissa. What are they saying? That she cheated on Evan while he was sick. Defrauded Medicare. Kicked you out. Everything. Who's talking? Evan's friends, neighbors, the 30 people at the funeral. They're all telling the story. I sighed. I didn't want her publicly shamed. You didn't do anything. She did this herself. You just defended yourself. Still feels ugly. Nancy paused. People ask me how you're doing. I tell them better than ever. Is that true? I'm learning how to be okay. October. Mark called. Evan's old friend. Carter, I'm sorry. At the funeral, I saw Melissa throw your pillow. I didn't say anything. I thought, it wasn't my business. It's okay, Mark. No, it's not. I should have stood up. Evan would have wanted me to protect you. Evan would want you to live well. That's enough. If you need anything, call me. Thank you. But I didn't call. Didn't need to. I had everything I needed now. Not friends, not validation, just clarity. People would talk about Melissa, about me. Some would say I was cruel. Others would say I was justified. I didn't care anymore because the people who mattered knew the truth, and the people who didn't matter didn't matter. Simple as that. I stopped reading Nancy's updates, stopped asking about Melissa. She was part of my past now, and I was building my future. Then Melissa sent one final message, September 15th. I checked my email, one new message from Melissa. Subject, I'm sorry, please read. I stared at it, 5 minutes, then opened it. Carter, I know you probably won't read this, but I need to say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I threw your pillow. I'm sorry I screamed at you in front of everyone. I'm sorry I didn't thank you for everything you did for Evan. You sold your house. You gave up your life. You cared for Evan when I couldn't. I was scared. I was angry. I was grieving. None of that excuses what I did. I lost everything. The house, Brad, my career, my reputation. I know you think I deserve it. Maybe I do. But I want you to know Evan loved you. He told me every day, my dad is a hero. And he was right. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. But Melissa, I read it 3 times. Felt sad. Not angry, not happy, just sad. I didn't reply. Saved the email in a folder labeled Closed Chapters. Closed my laptop. Sat by the window. It was raining. Light drizzle. I thought, she apologized. But sorry doesn't bring Evan back. Doesn't return my house. Doesn't erase what she said. But also thought, she's paying. For 30 years. That's enough. I didn't forgive her, but I let go. Because holding on to anger is like holding hot coal. You're the one who gets burned. I'd been burned enough. 1 year later, I checked in on her. Last time. February 2026. 1 year after Evan's funeral. Nancy called. Want to know about Melissa? Not really, but you'll tell me anyway. She's still in Ohio, waitressing, living with her mom, paying Medicare $500 a month. Is she okay? Define okay. She's surviving, but she's different. Posts on Facebook about learning from mistakes, forgiveness, starting over. Performative? Maybe. Or maybe she really changed. Who knows? I hope she changed. For her sake. You're not angry anymore? Anger doesn't bring Evan back. It just makes me tired. Do you forgive her? I paused. 10 seconds. No, but I'm not carrying her around anymore. There's a difference. You're strong, Carter. No, I'm just old. And old people know. Holding grudges is like holding hot coal. You're the one who burns. Evan would be proud of you. Tears filled my eyes. I hope so. Later, Nancy sent me a screenshot, Melissa's Facebook, photo of her in a Denny's uniform, caption, Day 1 of my new life, grateful for second chances. I looked at the photo, then deleted the screenshot. I didn't follow Melissa, didn't want updates, but I hoped, genuinely hoped, she found peace, because hatred is a prison, and both of us had served enough time. I forgave? No, but I released. And that was close enough. The story didn't end with Melissa. It ended with Evan, and what I did with the $576,450. I turned pain into purpose. June 1st, 2025. I made a decision. $576,450 sat in my bank account. Untouched. I called Brennan. I want to start A charitable fund. For what? To help families pay for cancer treatment, like I did for Evan, so they don't have to sell their homes. Brennan paused. That's beautiful. What's the name? Evan's Hope Fund. I'll handle the paperwork. How much do you want to donate? 500,000. I'll keep 76,000 for living expenses. You sure? That's almost everything. I don't need much. I need purpose. July 15th. Evan's Hope Fund became official. 501c3 nonprofit. Mission statement: to provide financial assistance to families facing pancreatic cancer treatment costs, so no parent has to sell their home to save their child, and no child has to watch their parent lose everything trying. Criteria: family income under $80,000 per year. Pancreatic cancer, stage 3 or 4. Grants up to $15,000 per family. I was the sole trustee. I decided who received grants. No marketing, no PR, just word of mouth through hospitals. $500,000 divided by $15,000 equals 33 families, 33 people who wouldn't have to sell their homes. 33 times Evan would live again through someone else. August. The first application arrived. Rodriguez family. Son, Miguel, 29 years old. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. Parents retired. No money. I read the application and cried. Then approved it. $15,000. Transferred the next day. Evan's voice in my head. Thank you, Dad. No, son. Thank you. And I met the first family I helped. August 20th. I met the Rodriguez family. Miguel, 31. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. His father, Carlos, 65. Carpenter. Like me, a builder. His mother, Rosa, 62. She'd sold her jewelry to pay for chemo cycle 1. They needed $12,000 for cycle 2. I approved $15,000, covered chemo plus 1 month of medication. We met at a coffee shop. Carlos shook my hand, hard grip, calluses. Mr. Howard, I don't know how to thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my son, Evan. Rosa's eyes filled with tears. Your son had cancer too? Yes, he died last year. I sold my house to pay for treatment, but it wasn't enough. Carlos looked down. I'm sorry. Don't be. Just fight for Miguel, like I fought for Evan. Miguel, thin and pale but smiling, reached across the table. You're a hero, Mr. Howard. No, you're the hero. You're still here, still fighting. 3 months later, Carlos sent me a photo. Miguel, smiling, thumbs up. Chemo was working. I printed the photo, put it on my desk, next to Evan's photo. 2 men, never met, but connected. Miguel died 8 months later, April 2026. But those 8 months, he spent them at home, with family, not worrying about money. That was Evan's gift to him. By December 2025, Evan's Hope Fund helped 9 families. $135,000 spent, $365,000 remaining. Every time I approved an application, I felt Evan beside me, smiling. You did good, Dad. We did good, son, together. And I kept one thing, the pillow. February 18th, 2026, 1 year since the funeral. I sat in my apartment, looked at the pillow, blue cotton, faded, unwashed, still smelled like sweat, medicine, tears. Nancy called. You visiting Evan's grave today? Yes, this afternoon. Want me to come? No, I need to go alone. 3 p.m. I drove to Riverside Memorial Cemetery. Evan's headstone, gray granite. Evan Michael Howard, 1984-2025, beloved son. I placed 21 white roses, 1 for each year since Sarah died. Sat beside the grave. 30 minutes of silence, then spoke. Son, I did it. I fought back, like you told me. I didn't let Melissa take everything. I took it back. And now that money's saving people. 9 families so far. Soon 20, 30, 50. Pause. I kept the pillow, the one Melissa threw, because it reminds me, never let anyone make you forget your worth. I built houses for 40 years. I raised you for 41. I sold my house to save you. I did everything. And no one has the right to say I'm not enough. Tears fell. Are you proud of me? Wind blew. Leaves fell onto the grave. I smiled. I know the answer. I drove home, turned on the radio. What a Wonderful World played. I laughed. First time in a year. Didn't bring the pillow to the grave, but I kept a photo of it in my wallet. A reminder. I was thrown away, but I picked myself up, and now I stand taller than ever. This is my final message. If you're listening to this story, maybe you've been thrown away too. Maybe not a pillow. Maybe words, actions, betrayal. I want you to know you don't have to take it. Kindness isn't weakness. Sacrifice isn't an invitation to be used. Love doesn't mean losing yourself. I stayed silent for 2 years. I endured for Evan. But when Melissa threw my pillow, I realized silence for the dead is one thing. Silence for someone abusing you is another. I didn't use violence. I used the law. Papers I signed 2 years before, accounts I opened, evidence I collected. That was my power. Melissa lost everything. I'm not happy about it, but I don't regret it. She had choices. She chose greed. Me? I chose Evan. And now Evan lives through 33 other families. If someone's treating you like Melissa treated me, stand up. Not with fists, with boundaries, with paperwork, with action. You're worth more than that. And they'll learn. The pillow, I still keep it. Unwashed. It reminds me I was thrown away. But I picked myself up, and now I stand higher than I ever did. My name is Carter Howard, and this is my story. Evan said, "Fight back." I did, and I won. Not because I got the money back, but because I got myself back.